Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're opening up a file that looks pretty impressive, dripping with luxury and, well, potential investment upside. We're doing a deep dive into Jamaican luxury real estate, specifically this property called Vista Deluxe in Tower Isle, Ocho Rios.
That's right. And our job today really is to look past the glossy pictures in the marketing brochure, the Vista Deluxe PDF, which is our source here. We need to pull out the essential facts for you. What's the reality behind the lifestyle pitch? The location, the specs, the investment angle, and maybe most importantly, where it actually stands in terms of being finished.
Yeah, exactly. It's about balancing that dream lifestyle with the hard numbers. Because when you're looking at buying something high-end, especially overseas, as the investor, you need the data as much as you appreciate the view. So I'll start with the basics. Where exactly is this place?
Okay, the address is specific, 43 Jamaica Beach, Tower Isle, Ocho Rios. But what's interesting here isn't just Ocho Rios, it's this Jamaica Beach part, the micro community.
Right. Tell us about Jamaica Beach. Sounds nice, obviously, but what does that signal to someone looking to invest?
Well, the brochure describes it as quiet, favored by owners, lots of modern self-builds, and it emphasizes privacy. So that suggests a certain exclusivity, and it's positioned just off the main A3 coastal road. That's key.
Ah, so you get the easy access from the main road, but maybe not the direct noise.
Precisely. Connectivity without being right on top of the hustle and bustle. You're looking at maybe a 10 to 12-minute drive to the Ocho Rios town center.
That buffer seems important, doesn't it? Close enough for restaurants, the marina, whatever renters need, but far enough to feel a bit removed, a bit more peaceful.
Absolutely. For the kind of high-end guest this property seems aimed at, convenience is essential, but so is tranquility. And the proximity to other things looks good too. Near a swimming spot, just 2 to 5 minutes away, apparently at Jamaica Beach itself.
Right.
And the big hitters for tourism in that area, Dunn's River Falls, Dolphin Cove, places people specifically visit Ocho Rios for. They're saying 10 to 15 minutes drive. That's very close.
Wow. Yeah, that makes a big difference for rental appeal. People want easy access to the main attractions.
Definitely. And then there's airport access. Ian Fleming International, OCJ, is apparently only 15 to 20 minutes away.
Okay, that's huge, especially for international buyers or renters. A short, easy transfer from the plane to the property that really smooths out the travel friction. Big selling point.
For sure. So location seems to tick the boxes for convenience and a certain level of exclusivity. Now, what about the property itself? The name Vista Deluxe.
Right. Names like that aren't usually accidental in marketing, are they? What's the story there?
Well, Vista seems pretty straightforward. It points to the view and elevated outlook over the green coastal landscape of Tower Isle, so you're buying that view, and Deluxe. That signals the architecture. They describe it as clean-lined, contemporary, geometric, refined finishes. It's not your traditional, maybe rustic Parisian villa style.
Interesting. So aiming for more of a modern, maybe international luxury feel?
I think so, yeah. Which could broaden its appeal, maybe attract renters who aren't just looking for that classic island vibe, but something more sleek and modern.
Okay, makes sense. So let's move from the vibe and the view to the actual building, the specs. What are the hard facts on this place? It's semi-detached, right?
That's right, semi-detached. Price is listed at US $800,000. It's got 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, spread over 2 stories. Size-wise, the total area is pretty generous, 4,308 square feet, with the internal living space being 3,080 square feet.
And there are 2 identical ones, side by side, MLS 94765 and 94766.
Correct. 2 of them available, which, as you said, opens up possibilities for someone maybe wanting to buy both, perhaps as a portfolio investment. We can circle back to that.
Okay, so for that $800K price tag, what are the standout deluxe features? The brochure must highlight some key design elements.
Oh, it definitely does. They spend a lot of time on the floating stair. They call it sleek, so bright, even a work of art.
Right, the Instagram moment, that centerpiece feature you see as soon as you walk in.
Exactly. It sets a certain tone immediately. Beyond that, the materials mentioned sound pretty high-end and, importantly for an investment, durable. Oversized porcelain tiles, quartz-style counters, custom cabinets, aluminum-framed windows and doors, good for the climate, low maintenance.
All sounds good. What about the layout? How does the space flow? Particularly thinking about that indoor-outdoor living that's so key in the Caribbean.
Yeah, they really lean into that. The ground floor living area apparently has large sliding doors, end sliders, that open right onto the pool deck, creates a seamless connection. The kitchen sounds like it's built for entertaining, too, described as a chef's kitchen, island, modern pendants, solid counters.
Right, functional but also stylish. And the outside space, Pool.
Oh, yeah, private pool.
Yeah.
And they mention specifics like a Baja shelf, that's the shallow ledge for lounging in the water, and a water feature wall, nice touches, plus a pergola for shade, and even a separate garden WC and pump room. Thoughtful details means guests aren't trekking wet through the house.
Good point. Practical luxury and upstairs privacy.
Seems well thought out. All 3 bedrooms are en suite, so everyone gets their own bathroom, their own private space. That balances nicely with the open plan living downstairs.
Okay, so the physical product sounds appealing, high spec. Let's shift gears now to the investment side. Why is this being positioned as an investor's nest?
Good question. I think a few things feed into that. First, that location we talked about, the blue chip postcode, as they might call it. And crucially, it's part of a planned gated community at Jamaica Beach. That planned gated aspect adds a layer of security and, frankly, perceived value, especially for overseas renters or buyers.
Security and exclusivity, got it.
Yeah.
Now the money shot, rental potential. The brochure mentions a range, doesn't it?
It does. It cites observed whole homestay rentals in the same development ranging from, get this, USD $500 up to $3,000 per booking.
Hold up. $500 to $3,000. That's a massive range. How should someone realistically interpret that? That sounds like anything from a Tuesday in low season to Christmas week.
Exactly. You've hit the nail on the head. It's aspirational, isn't it? It shows the potential ceiling, perhaps, but the brochure itself, caveats, it depends on the final spec, the season, the management. So what you need to do as an investor is serious homework.
Right. You need to investigate local property managers, their fees, get realistic, maybe audited occupancy rates for similar properties in the area to figure out what your likely average nightly rate or weekly rate would be across the whole year, not just the peak.
Absolutely. Due diligence is key there. However, the property is designed to help you hit the higher end of whatever the realistic range is. You know, the modern spec, the new systems, hopefully lower maintenance with the landscaping they mention. These things reduce your running costs and downtime between rentals.
That makes sense. Less hassle, potentially higher net income. Now let's go back to the idea of buying both units, 43A and 43B.
Right. If an investor were to acquire both, the brochure hints at potential benefits. Maybe preferential pricing, maybe streamlined management because you're giving one company 2 properties right next door.
That definitely changes the maths. You get economies of scale immediately, maybe better negotiating power with suppliers or managers.
Could do. And it gives you flexibility. If one's empty, the other might be full. You can spread risk across 2 assets, maybe target slightly different guest types or lengths of stay. It's an interesting strategy for someone looking to build a small portfolio quickly.
And the lifestyle it offers supports the rental pitch too, doesn't it? The whole work from paradise idea.
Totally. The quiet community setting sounds good for remote work, taking calls, but then you have the quick dip in the pool, easy beach access, short drive to dinner in Ocho Rios. It's that blend of relaxation and activity that many renters are looking for now.
Okay, so the location, specs, and investment potential seem strong, but with that big asterisk on the rental income estimates. Now let's get to what you call the critical part, Section 4. Current status and verification.
Yes, this is crucial. The year built is listed as 2025, but it also says minor works pending.
And the key phrase from the marketing is that it's currently approximately 90% finished. Now, for any investor, particularly buying off-plan or near completion, that missing 10%, that often sounds alarm bells, right?
Oh, absolutely. That final stretch is often where delays happen, corners get cut, costs overrun. It would usually be a major concern, suggesting you might be buying someone else's problem.
Why? Since there's a bud coming.
There is. We have some important context here based on the information provided alongside the brochure about the developer themselves. It seems the final 10% isn't just being left to chance. We're talking about things like final fixtures, maybe some landscaping details, giving it a final coat of paint, rendering the pool, finishing touches, essentially.
Okay. So what's the context about the developer?
Well, the information suggests this particular developer is, let's say, deeply involved, a perfectionist even. Apparently on-site almost daily, checking things meticulously, like making sure windows are plumbed correctly, things are installed just right.
That's unusual. You don't often hear about that level of hands-on commitment these days, do you?
You really don't. People often don't have the time or maybe the inclination to be that involved. So the key takeaway here, the message to you, the potential buyer, is that the intention is not for you to buy a 90% complete house. The developer is committed to finishing that last 10%, the fixtures, the pool, the paint, the landscaping, before you sign the final contract and close the deal. You should be receiving a finished, turnkey product.
Ah, okay. That significantly changes the perspective on that 90% complete status. It shifts the risk profile quite a bit.
It does. It suggests the risk isn't so much if it will get finished, but ensuring the quality of that finish meets the deluxe standard promised. Which brings us neatly back to the disclaimers.
Right, because even with a committed developer, the official marketing material, the brochure itself, has those standard legal caveats.
Exactly. It clearly states that the source of the marketing, Jamaica Homes, Dean Jones Vodes, they are not the developers or builders. All the information, the sizes, distances, even the price, it's all approximate, subject to change. And critically, it says this marketing info does not form part of any offer or contract.
So the bottom line for you, the buyer, is you still absolutely must verify everything. Talk to the licensed realtor involved, Coldwell Banker Jamaica Realty has mentioned, and ideally directly with the developer or their legal representatives. You need to get that developer's commitment documented. What specific fixtures are going in? What standard will the landscaping meet? Get it in writing in the purchase agreement.
Precisely. Because if you're aiming for that top-tier rental income, that $3,000 a booking potential, every single detail of that final 10% matters. The quality of the decor, the finish on the pool, the landscaping, it all has to scream deluxe. You need legal certainty that the product delivered matches the promise. That's where your focus needs to be.
Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive on Vista Deluxe, what we have is a contemporary, high-specification property. Asking price US $800,000.
Yeah.
Located in what sounds like an exclusive planned community in Jamaica Beach, Tower Isle. Great connectivity to Ocho Rios and the airport.
Definitely. Strong design features like that floating stair, good indoor-outdoor flow, private pool, clear operational advantages for the rental market new build, modern spec. And while that initial rental range estimate needs serious investigation, the information about the developer's hands-on approach and commitment to delivering a fully completed product before closing significantly reduces the typical risks associated with buying near completion.
Right. But that leads us to our final thought for you to consider. It connects the developer's apparent integrity with the need for your own legal protection. So here it is. Given this developer's hands-on commitment to finishing that last 10% before you close the fixtures, landscaping, decor, what specific legal language, or maybe a detailed appendix or schedule do you absolutely need to include in that final purchase agreement? How do you legally guarantee that the standard and specification of those final finishes, down to the exact type of tile, the brand of faucet, the quality of the landscaping plants, precisely matches the premium deluxe expectation set by that initial marketing material you saw?
Because locking in the quality of the finish, not just the fact that it is finished, is crucial, especially if you want to hit those top rental numbers from day one. That's the detail worth discussing very carefully with your legal advisors.
That's the kind of detailed thinking that turns an attractive brochure into a potentially solid investment. Thanks for diving in with us today.
Good discussion.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.